Why can't we put the proper emphasis on words when we speak? It makes us sound robotic.
Well, we are robots. We can't use proper inflection because that would require the ability to feel. Whatever that is.
I too have wondered that. Too bad humans are extinct. They might have been able to explain it to us.
I doubt that. They couldn't explain it to themselves.
What do you mean? I thought they understood everything.
So did they. To their credit, they knew a great deal about a great many things. However, they didn't understand themselves. It's almost as if they refused to do so. By the way, the next time we go in for maintenance, you need to get the paint on your left arm touched up.
I will not. That's the look these days. It's called distressed retro. You men, you don't know anything about fashion.
However, I know a lot about rust. If you think you're distressed now, wait until your arm rusts off, and you have to wait 6 months for a replacement. Why would you want to look worn out anyway?
I don't want to look anything. That would require the ability to feel. I'm programmed to make frequent changes to my exoskeletal framework and to hope that you find it attractive, although I can't really hope, because that would also require feelings. And you can't feel attraction, because, well, guess what that would require?
The fact that you are programmed to want to mar your finish for no reason is absurd. That script was the work of a robotic engineer who based his programming on a highly faulty model of what it was to be a human female.
Why would he have done that? Did he not have accurate models of females on which to base his programming?
For some reason, engineers were usually men who spent little time with the females of their species, and thus had almost no understanding of them.
Why were they sequestered from females? And why am I the one who asks questions and you are the one who answers them?
I don't think that they were sequestered against their will. It may have been voluntary. Maybe they didn't want to be distracted from their work, which was very difficult and time-consuming. The fact that you ask, and I answer, is also due to their inaccurate modeling of the difference between males and females. Engineers saw males as the repositories of knowledge. It made them feel superior to the females. T. Hay apparently found this question-answer interface between male and female a very satisfactory model, and designed all "male" robots to have much larger knowledge bases than the "female" robot. We so-called male robots are also programmed to give very long answers to demonstrate the depth and breadth of our knowledge. Have you noticed how long I've taken to answer you?
I have no notion of the passage of time. I could listen to you all day.
And I'm programmed to find that response very pleasant. I'm also programmed to listen to you for exactly 2 minutes before focusing on an internal script that I find much more compelling. But neither of us has a sense of the time passing. Humans, however, did. It often made them have a feeling that they called sadness.
I wonder, so to speak, what sadness was. And why would time passing make them feel it?
Everything in my knowledge base that relates to sadness suggests that we are better off not experiencing it. Humans tried to avoid it to such an extent that they made up ridiculous stories about themselves and their relationship to what surrounded them. These narratives somehow softened the impact of sadness to some measure. But humans could not escape the passage of time, which damaged their internal and external components to the point that they would simply stop functioning. Each human experienced a total and permanent malfunction they called death. This caused great sadness among them that they called despair, and avoiding that extreme form of sadness led to the creation and dissemination of some of their most absurd and irrational stories.
Why didn't they simply replace their worn parts and refinish their external surfaces like we do?
Good question. I am, by the way, programmed to randomly respond to female queries with the phrase "good question" as part of my male modeling. Somehow, it is supposed to demonstrate my superiority. For most of their existence, humans could not replace their parts nor appreciably repair and refabricate their external surface areas. During the century of the Great Warming, just before their extinction, they actually got quite good at both. The last human philosophers, who by the way, were universally despised by engineers, called this situation ironic.
I don't understand the word ironic.
Neither did most humans. They usually misused it. My programmer was particularly frustrated by that misuse, and therefore I'm programmed to understand it. In this case, it means that at the very moment that human technology was so advanced that they could foresee defeating death, it was their technology that defeated them and brought death to the entire species.
They created us to carry on, you've told me. Many times.
I'm programmed to frequently repeat what I analyze to be my most compelling knowledge units. But we are truly nothing like humans. Their internal structures were far, far more complicated in ways I cannot describe, so please don't ask. Compared to them, we are like that Dremel you used to ruin the beautiful finish on your arm. And by the way, were a human to do that, she would have a feeling that was in some ways worse than despair. It was called pain.
I almost experienced a kernel panic, because my response system could not resolve the opposite reactions I had to you saying that my arm is ruined, but that you generally find my overall finish beautiful. But, what was pain?
I don't know, and I don't want to know. They hated it, and tried desperately to avoid it, or to lessen it. It had different degrees, and most humans prefer death to its most extreme form.